Hey, if you didn't bring a toothbrush, I think there's some under the sink. Who are you?
I am the mighty Greek goddess Hera. And you have slept with my husband.
Zeus? No, the guy I picked up last night is a swan. Like a literal swan. What can I say? I'm desperate.
No, you slept with my husband disguised as a swan.
Yeah, come on, I'm not stupid. I'm not going to be tricked like that. Oh, crap.
I curse you to die a terrible death unless you complete the 12 tasks of Hercules.
Oh, come on, how was I supposed to know? The guy was a swan. He was being a swan. And how come you always go after the people that your husband cheats on you with? Maybe you ought to be getting him in line, you stupid bitch. Take those stupid wings off. The ancient Greeks believed in a whole bunch of gods and goddesses, but the most famously prolific one was probably the big guy, Zeus, king of the gods. The story goes that Zeus's father and mother, Cronus and Rhea, who were also brother and sister, but give them a break, the dating pool wasn't big when the world was created, had Zeus last in a line of 6 children. The problem for Cronus was that after he overthrew his own father, Uranus, no, I won't say it the way that you want me to, he found out one of his own kids would one day overthrow him too. So Cronus wasn't wild about that idea, and he went ahead and did the reasonable thing and ate his children. The eldest 5, that is. His sister, wife, had the 6th, Zeus, secretly in a cave in Crete. Then she took a rock wrapped in blankets to her cannibal husband, and he scrammed down on the rock thinking it was Zeus. Years later, the kid that Cronus thought had been especially crunchy turns up alive and well, and pissed off. Zeus made his dad chuck up the rock and his brothers and sisters, then led them all against him to take the throne, apart from the rock, who wasn't really able to do that. Cronus was imprisoned forever, and Zeus became the final king of Mount Olympus. That was cool. Come on, mythology is cool, I don't even care. So one thing you can be sure of is that Zeus was an utter slut. Which is fine if that's the way you want to live your life and no one's getting hurt. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, he is hot, and I would. The problem is this guy was married to someone who definitely did not like him being a slut, and also a lot of his targets got hurt. In one of the many stories of him being desperate to get his salami wet, he turned into a swan so that he could sexually assault some poor woman. She was just going about her business and there was this friggin' swan. And he had a habit of getting those poor women pregnant and then just, clearing off. Utter tool piece. Anyway, Zeus's wife, Hera, who was also his sister, partly digested by their dad, needed to check herself. In the Greek mythology, at no point in any of her husband's numerous affairs does she put him in line. She always just goes after the woman in question. And one time a little boy. Yeah, I don't even. But come on, Hera, your man is throwing the schlong about all over the shop and you're not going to have a sit down with him and say, yeah, can you please not do that? You're just going to keep doing mean stuff to the other non-consenting girls, like lock them away forever, or make their illegitimate children miserable? Can you imagine if Hera did an Am I the Asshole post on Reddit? AITA for blaming the usually non-consenting affair partners of my F650 husband, M639, for him not being able to keep it in his toga. My husband is currently the king of all the gods. We live on a big mountain and everything would be fine, except he keeps going off and having random sex with loads of women and I cannot keep track of all his illegitimate children or partners. It's a real problem because I want to absolutely ruin their lives. It's only fair because he's my husband and the father of my children. Don't bother DMing me, I'm not going to read any of them. No, this isn't an AI-generated post, I really am this much of a mental bitch. She would get ripped to shreds in the comments. The entire thread would be solid with red flag emojis. Hera was the goddess of marriage, actually, so maybe she thought getting a divorce would look bad on her CV. Anyway, one of Zeus's many illegitimate children was Heracles, or Hercules as we call him in his Romanized name. And that's where the topic of this video comes in, Yolanda. See, I got to the point eventually. Thanks for sticking around. Oh, come on, where am I? Oh, hey, Satan, not seen you in a while.
Hell looks different than what I was expecting, because I've not been here before.
Oh, this isn't hell. This is the underworld. I'm just here to give back something I borrowed from Hades. Too evil for me.
Oh.
Well, nice seeing you.
Okay, bye.
The game Yolanda was released for the Commodore Amiga in 1990. Here's what an Amiga looks like. Well, one of them. This is an Amiga 500. Amiga was an on the whole popular and successful computer series. If you're interested in the other models of the Amiga and its capabilities, my channel is not the place to look, because more than enough other channels have covered that, and also I don't particularly care. I just want to play shitty games, I'm sorry. Yolanda is Hercules' daughter. She has attracted the ire of Hera, who, as expressed before, is a malicious cow who won't hold her husband accountable. Hera is pissed off because Yolanda is one of Zeus's many grandchildren outside of their marriage. But the game intro says it's because Yolanda is hot as hell, and Hera does not like that at all. I can see why Hera has low self-esteem since her husband keeps going off, but that's some dreadful internalised misogyny there. So Hera tells Yolanda unless she completes the 12 labours that her father famously did, any man that Yolanda falls in love with will die in a week. Although this story does sound like it's from Greek mythology, it isn't. The developers seem to have made this one up themselves. Yolanda isn't a name mentioned in Greek mythology, actually, whether as Hercules' daughter or not. It seems to be the Spanish version of the Greek name Iolanthe, which means violet flower. I couldn't find any myth around the latter name. The Gilbert and Sullivan opera named for her doesn't seem to be based on mythology. It's a story about a fairy who married a human, and Gilbert and Sullivan made that up themselves. So that's your context, and even though this game is about to take the utter piss, it is entirely believable that Hera would force this poor leather bikinied lass to undergo what we are all about to undergo together. Yep, I'm taking you guys with me. Don't you dare click off to another video. I will find you and I will hurt you.
Hey, I like the theme tune of the Underworld.
Whoa, listen to that music. That's one thing, even though it's limited, the music in this game really is great. And it's very fitting, as we will find out shortly. That metal bra though, there is no way that's comfortable. I bet it's pinching like a nipple-hugging lobster. It's great she's chosen to armour the two most important parts of her body, being her tits and this forearm, rather than, you know, the places with organs that she kind of needs to survive. Just another victim of the patriarchy. My girl, your boobs are not an important part of your body right now. Go get some proper armour, you look ridiculous.
Right then, 12 tasks of Hercules. Better get going. No, absolutely not.
Look, this crab has got teeth in its claws. Teeth inside its claws. I hate crabs as it is. Any that have actual fangs and molars inside these pincers would repulse me so much that my skin would slip off my skeleton and ooze away. I do not want to walk into that thing at the beach. It's huge as well. Oh, get it off me, no. Ooh, a rare instance of those who are attracted to male bodies being served in games of this era. Who's this guy? Who is, 'cause he's nice.
Hey. Hey there. Hey. Hey, you just hanging out? I'm just hanging out. Hey.
Again though, just the helmet to protect the head? My dude, the loincloth is a nice look on you and I can see you're proud of the gym gains, but no set of abs will have an axe bounce off it. What is wrong with the pair of you? Yes, you're hot. Now put some safety gear on. I honestly have no clue who this guy's supposed to be, by the way. He's not mentioned in the blurb at the start, unless he's supposed to be Hermes, but I don't think he is. Hermes was a messenger god. I can't see this guy leaving a "you are out" card after absolutely lobbing the box containing your new monitor over your neighbour's garden fence. Alright, let's go, come on. Ow! Ow! Oh! Fuck! It's not fair. It's not even giving me more than a couple of seconds to take in the scene. The platform Yolanda starts on explodes into flame. And it's not just that one, actually. Most of the platforms turn into flame eventually, including the ground at the bottom, so you have to move quick. And that music. Listen to how anxiety-inducing it is. the music's like, oh shit, oh shit, oh god, oh shit. And on top of that, when you die pretty much right away,
What?
the game switches to another trial, which means another level entirely.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Quick, move, before the platform's set on fire.
Oh god, oh god, oh god! Ah!
Some of the levels have an expectation of you to have lightning fast reflexes, because the second it starts, there's a one-hit KO thing pretty much on top of her. And yeah, everything is one-hit KO. Fireballs, the floor that's literally lava, these spider things, whatever this is, dead. Dead, deaded. You get to a point where you just assume whatever Yolanda starts on is going to explode, so you find yourself in this state of constant panic. You end up panicking so much that you do stupid shit, like press the direction key when you meant jump, or walk onto a platform that you can already see is on fire. Is this really the bullshit Hercules had to deal with when he did his 12 labours? Fair play to him, I've not even cleared one screen yet, and I'm ready to chuck the entire towel in. A towel that's probably on fire. Yolanda only gets a few lives too, and you will absolutely rinse through them. I mean super speed. You'll see this screen with the buff lad shaming you for not even getting 1 point many times.
Alright, so that platform set's on fire. I'm gonna go and jump on this one instead. Ah! What the shit? Ah!
On top of the platforms bursting into flames and the terrifying creatures on them, you've got to consider that any given platform might just disappear on contact. This counts for the vines that Yolanda can use to get around as well. This is when you realise this is more than a platforming game, it's actually a puzzle. Well, a memory game. You need to remember which parts of the scenery are going to fuck with you, or make an educated guess based on the gameplay thus far, whether something will or will not disappear when she touches it.
Okay. Of course. Ow.
Even after you've played it long enough to have seen a good amount of the starting screens, 9 times out of 10, you've only seen the first couple of seconds of each, because something's come out of nowhere and killed you anyway.
This is deeply unfair. I can't even get through the level enough to capture enough gameplay footage. Gotta be something I can do.
Oh, hi again. Who's that?
I have no idea.
He's hot though.
Yeah, I saw him first.
You're not looking too good. Are you alright?
Yeah, I just woke up after a heavy night.
Wasn't there some...
Yeah, no, I feel weird without the cat ears, you know?
Yeah, I can understand you use them as a psychological crutch in order to present yourself in a way that you would like to be seen on the internet without worrying about people judging you for who you are behind them. Anyway, I'm just here because I need to give Hades Barv his Asda delivery that was accidentally sent to me. Look, he bought 4 boxes of these. He's a really, really evil man.
Can you and your evilness help me out here? I've got 12 tasks to do and I can't even do one of them.
Well, what I suggest you do is cheat.
Oh, that's evil.
I will show you how, but first, you must give me your soul.
Alright.
Oh, people usually seem quite upset at that.
Nah, I hate myself. Take it. Honestly, I'm surprised that I even have one at this point. I rarely feel any joy.
There is a cheat to switch unlimited lives on, so okay, I'll do that, but now I'm dying constantly and never being taken back to the title screen, so I don't really understand how that helps me. Sure, I get to keep my score, but since you only get points when you clear a screen, it's not like that counter's going to be going up that much anyway. There is a training mode, by the way, and that's just a bunch of levels that give you a little taste of the bullcrap you're going to be subjected to. Ah, great. When you start each level, there's this massive thing sharing the level with you. Now, each of these things represents one of the 12 labours of Hercules, which, by the way, are summarised at the start of each level. Accurately too, but it does beg the question, why bother telling us about Hercules when the main character is Yolanda? I want to know more about her. She seems kind of cool, despite the fact she's got terrible taste at Bravissimo. Hera sending Yolanda off to the exact same trials as Hercules makes no sense because Hercules had literally already completed them. In the mythology, he had to complete them as penance for killing his wife and a whole bunch of his other kids. Which is harsh, actually, because he only killed them since, yeah, you guessed it, Hera made him temporarily insane because she hadn't been enough of a bitch yet. Each of the things that represents the goal of the labour is there at the start of each level tantalisingly, but it turns into a door, aside from the last level of each labour section.
Hey, buddy, can you... What? Ow. Great.
I like to think that's whatever it is running away from Yolanda because it doesn't want to be involved. Flaming platforms and lass with metal knockers? No, I'm good, mate. I've got places to go. Places that are not here. And look at these baddies. They really are horrifying in a kind of wonderful way. This crab has eyes that pop out of its skull. I am going to have nightmares about that for years, thanks. Yolanda is so brave, because remember, if she doesn't complete these tasks, any man she falls in love with will die. Cute. I would not stick around after seeing something like that, though. I'd just resign myself to never falling in love ever. Screw it. Bring on the fuckboys. I'm gonna die alone. The only way you're going to beat this game is to know exactly where each trap is, and this is where I have to admit, I think this game might be kind of genius. Yeah, it's frustrating as hell and as anxiety-inducing as driving in central London, but it's another one of those games that's like a cryptic crossword. Once you understand the language of the person writing it, you can guess what's going to kill you and what isn't. And as a rule, if it looks like there's an easy path to the goal, then that particular path will kill you. I am stressed, but I'm pissed off enough to keep trying. This is like how I felt about Dragon's Lair on the NES. Like, I have to prove something, that I can't be beaten by some sadistic video game older than me. Well, not quite older than me, but look, shut up.
Oh, hey again, Satan.
Yes, I'm just borrowing this shark.
I don't get it. What's the joke?
There isn't one. Not everything has to be a joke, you know. I just like sharks.
Right, okay.
Sharky, 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 sharky.
Okay, well, cheating didn't work, which means the only thing left is to get good.
It's not about the skill, it's get good. You got time to kill, then it's get good. Anyone can master this kind of game. It's not like you've got a life anyway. It's not about the fun, it's get good. Gotta practice some and get good. Learn the levels off by heart. Keep going when you're thrown back to the start and get good. Yeah, get good. Yeah, get good. Yeah, get good. Get good.
Finally, the last labour, done. And without the use of drugs. Maybe a little bit.
And underwhelming end screen. But this wasn't about the destination. This was about the mental breakdowns we had along the way. I was kind of hoping we'd get a nice little line about maybe Yolanda meeting some really nice hot bloke, you know, to really wrap things up, but we don't get that. It does say that Yolanda returns to her love, but that's not someone who was ever mentioned at all before, and I want the tea. I want to know who's the kind of guy who would fall in love with someone who has metal tits. Maybe they can show me where I'm going wrong. Can we, is he still single? Maybe they should. Can I have a go at him first? And even though these were the 12 tasks of Hercules, Hercules doesn't even show up at the end to congratulate his daughter. Probably because he's too busy picking up a heavy thing and moving it over to another place. So if you're wondering why is it that the whole concept of Yolanda doing these 12 tasks seems a little bit shoehorned in, it might be because, 1, you don't have much else going on in your life, and 2, that is exactly what has happened. You see, Yolanda was originally a game called Hercules, about Hercules doing his 12 tasks. It was originally released, I think, on the Commodore 64 in 1984, and it was then ported to other home computer systems, including the ZX Spectrum, which is my preferred version of it. Would you just take a look at the cover art for the re-released version? My guy, who is this? Who's this? Is this supposed to be some buffed up lad from the ancient Greek? Because he's got a telephone on his wrist. Who's he calling with that?
Hello? Oh, hello, my friend.
You okay and having a nice time?
There's really no reason for him to suddenly have popped up from Warhammer 40,000, but you know, I'm here for it, I like it. This is the ZX Spectrum version because I'm British and we liked the ZX Spectrum quite a lot in the 80s. We thought it was distilled. I just find it more charming, sorry. By the way, this is not to be confused with the game Hercules Slayer of the Damned, which also got a ZX Spectrum release and is complete and utter bobbins. It's terrible, don't even look, don't. Utter crap. I feel like I'm playing a physical version of the last time I tried to navigate my local council's website. You know what? Screw it. I'll put both the black and blue bins out. I'm not sitting around waiting for the pages to load to tell me what bin day it is. I'll be here forever. Aren't those sound effects adorable? It sounds like these two are just gently bopping each other with their weapons. Not exactly what I was expecting from a game called Hercules Slayer of the Damned. Oh, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. Anyway, let's have a look at this original Hercules that became Yolanda. The music of Hercules on the ZX Spectrum is not worth listening to. You've heard it already if you've drank 4 pints of Guinness the night before. All in all, it's super similar to Yolanda gameplay-wise. It's still unfair, although I have to admit, it seems easier somehow. I think that might just be because the hitboxes are not totally unreasonable. In Yolanda, you just have to breathe in the vicinity of an enemy, and there you go, instant death. With that being said, after having played the original version, I can see that Yolanda is an unfairly more difficult version of that. I think the Hercules game had it just about right. Yolanda just pushes it far too far. The platform's certainly set on fire a lot quicker, and she really isn't as easy to control as Hercules is. I think maybe I found it a rewarding gaming experience because I might be a psychopath. Or I'm just really kinky. It's probably both. I don't know, there's something incredibly charming about Hercules and Yolanda. Out of character for a second. A long time ago, my piano teacher, who was one of the smartest men I've ever met, played me a piece of music which sounded like trash. It was by a composer who had put different key signatures in the treble and the bass clef. So it sounded like a chaotic jumble, just really not nice. And then when I said it sounded awful, he said, "You just don't understand the language." When you look at something as a piece of art, you do realise that just because you don't like it or understand something, doesn't mean that it's inherently bad. Okay, back in character. You'll see Yolanda, and by extension Hercules, panned by other YouTubers. It's often cited as one of the worst games on the Amiga, and maybe one of the worst ever made. This is unfair. You don't understand the language, and that's fine. It's not a platforming game, it's a memory game, a puzzle game. Not a forgiving one, not one that necessarily has much replay value. The challenge comes in trying to guess correctly which part is going to kill you. But it's one of a kind, and once you click with it, it actually feels great, it honestly does. If you don't click with it, fine. For me, there's a real thrill to finally getting past just one screen. Real accomplishment. Accomplishment that means absolutely nothing to the rest of the world, but in that moment, gave me a burst of serotonin that I so desperately need.
Oh, thank goodness. Well, don't mess with Hera. Lesson learned. I need a drink. Yeah, can I have all the alcohol, please?